Hi everyone, Steve Janz here. Another supportive video for your Simply Accounting case. Today you're going to look at net present value. We're going to have basically a brief description of how net present value works, some of the key attributes to this. Now make sure you also go into your Horngren textbook and look at the net present value chapter. Do that. Do those questions that are in there so that you can see how it's done. We are going to take it and put it into Excel. But with this video, with that textbook chapter, with your experience, you should be able to answer this part of the case really, really well. But let's go over some of the key concepts. First, this is all about cash flow. You are dealing with cash flow, and you got to keep track of this. And what we're going to do is we're going to keep track of our cash flow over a number of years and come up with a final total amount. It's estimates, it's a projection. But what we're hoping to see is a very nice positive number, and that gives us confidence to go ahead with the project. Now, what do we have to make sure we consider? Well, we're going to have a rate of 15%. So we're going to do present value calculations at the end of these years because there is that time value of money. We're going to discount them by this rate. And again, we're still looking for hopefully a positive number here. If it's negative, you may not want to do it. If it's close to zero, may not want to do it. If it's really high and it makes sense and the projections are your best estimates and you really believe they're going to happen, you probably do want to do it. And that's what we're looking for. You're also going to have to do some supportive additional schedules. So don't think that this is the only schedule you do. You've got to calculate the cash flow that happens year after year. Simply, sales minus variable costs is your contribution margin, but consider only the cash amounts. You could call it operating income. We're only considering the cash amounts, and that's important in a net present value calculation. Also, don't forget the percentage growth. These numbers are changing. Hopefully your business does better in the second, third, and fourth, and fifth year as you grow your reputation. So your numbers probably aren't going to stay static and the same. Don't forget the percentage growth. So let's take a look at this. Let's take a look at just basic numbers. I'll put some numbers on here, explain how we come up with everything. Your present value of cash flows a lot of times is considered to be year zero, the beginning. So let's say you have an idea that's going to cost $6,575,000. Year zero, that is no present value calculations, no nothing. It's a negative value because this is the cash outflow. Now, over these 5 years, you're going to do well. And you're hoping so. That's why you're doing this. You're going to have sales, but you'll have variable costs, and you'll have to consider that all along. Now, we're not considering taxes. This is a simple example. There are taxes, and this calculation can be taken further if we consider taxes and we consider CCA. But again, we're just starting off with the basic one because I want to get you to understand the basics of net present value. So let's say that after we consider sales and variable costs, year one, we're going to achieve cash flow, and again, there's that word, cash flow, of $1.8 million. Now the key thing with understanding this is that we have to make sure we calculate this at a present value. So 1.8 million is not going to be 1.8 million. We have to consider the present value of that. And again, I will show you in class how to calculate that in Excel so it becomes easier. You can certainly do it on your calculator. But that present value of that 1 year later will actually give us a value of $1,565,217. And you can see that the time value of money is going to take that cash and lower it a little bit. That's what happens. Year two, we're expecting this to be $2.2 million. Again, there's that percentage growth. Hopefully from year 1 to 2, you really start rocking it. You really start growing. But again, you got to consider the time value of money. 1,663,516. Now here's what I'd like you to do. I'd like you to finish this problem and do these calculations. And I'm going to give you the data. And I'd like you to finish it and see if you can get the same number that I get at the end. So 2.3 million in year 3. 2,390,000, year 4. And then in year 5, we're going to have some unique things. We're going to sell the business. So we're going to sell the business for $500,000, which is another nice positive $500,000 for us. We're also going to generate $2,000,000 $450,000 as our operating income or contribution margin, whatever you'd like. So we actually, in year 5, we would have $2,950,000, and then you'd have to calculate the present value of that. So again, a little bit of a trickier one, but don't be surprised to see an additional thing happening at the last year, the sale of the business. So overall, you can see, and if you fill in the blanks here, here, and here, and add it all up together, and again, remember, this would start off as a negative value. Adding those all together, you'll get a net present value equal to $999,182. So almost $1 million. So in this case, for a net present value discounted at 15%, generating $1 million worth of net present value, you would probably accept this project based on the numbers to start with. You have to look at the qualitative as well, your time, your energy, your skill level, but just based purely on the numbers, this is probably a project you are very interested in possibly pursuing. Have a good day, everyone.